What's been your experience in thinking about this, writing this book, and letting the reality of that affect your ministry? What's
Mhm.
been your experience in your personal ministry and the benefit of it? What's been maybe the rub with other clergy or other bishops, and how has that all been for you?
I don't really understand why there are. I understand there are a few people I know that actively deny that there's a hell, or that if there is, it's pretty much empty, or very, very few people go there, in total contradiction to everything Jesus says. But how have they gotten into this condition? How do they reason to that? And one of the people I respect most among the bishops and among in the church in general is Bishop Robert Barron, but he has a he fudges this point a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't claim to understand his position, because I'm told he's not denying the doctrine of hell, but it seems practically, though, it's not
Yeah.
a big reality for anybody. Likewise, I've told you about modern Balthazar, but frankly, our own Pope says he likes to think it's mostly empty.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then we're going to save the climate, but we're not. What I mean,
Yeah.
what's left? Go ahead then and take a long vacation, Your Holiness. I mean, so I don't know why. I don't know what to make of clergy like this.
Yeah. It makes, I mean, in that sense, it immediately makes sense why he would, for instance, be more concerned about saving the environment if all humans are fine. I think
Yeah.
sometimes it's the weird reality of like everyone can kind of get caught up into like a Catholic bubble where like maybe the people around them are people that
Yeah.
are working to better themselves. So your kind of immediate view can be like, well, we're all doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone that says that, I would mostly say then you must not really come into contact with real people, because when
Yeah.
you run
Yeah.
into real people, you can immediately see thousands and millions of hellbound people,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Yeah.
even of their own admission,
Right.
maybe even ones that say that they worship Satan. So I think
Yeah.
sometimes it's ironic because, Pope Francis talked about kind of going to the peripheries, like basically like going
Mm-hmm.
outside of the everyday Catholic.
Yeah.
Then you would run into hellbound people, I mean, within a matter of seconds.
Yeah. Also, to further develop though your question of why do you think this is, or where does this come from? I think one's a sociological issue, and the other is a theological issue. The sociological issue is that we sort of reduce love to kindness. So that yes, kindness is certainly an aspect of love, but so is rebuke or correction. I mean, if you go to a doctor and he says, "Well, you're in third category obesity," but don't worry, you're fine. I mean, that's not loving. I mean, we got to do something to get your weight down or whatever, and get you so you don't, just drop dead on the way out to the parking lot. So, again, love doesn't always just say, "Oh, I agree with you, and I affirm you." But this is kind of what we've done in our culture. So, and this is where you get this: if you don't agree with my lifestyle, you hate me. Well, no, I don't. I don't. I'm not aware of hating you. I think I care about you. I don't think that's the way to walk. But you see, this is where that comes from, this reduction of love to kindness.
Mhm.
Now, another aspect, though, of this then is that because of that, we trivialize God. Oh, well, God is not going to do that. God's a nice guy. Jesus becomes kind of a harmless hippie who
Yeah.
sort of walked around preaching mild liberalism, but he certainly never really challenged us. And if you ever open up the real Jesus, he certainly does. If you don't come to believe that I am, you will die in your sins. If you don't take up your cross daily and follow me, you cannot be my disciple. Oh, well, he didn't really mean it like you do, Father. That kind of a thing. So there's this kind of refashioning of Jesus into a harmless hippie, and a large scale ignoring of most of his actual words. And likewise with God the Father, there's just he's sort of a doting grandfather. And I mean,
Yeah.
somewhere we have to recover a sense that love isn't just this kind of syrupy, sweetie pie kind of kindness. Real love is vigorous, and it says, "I want the best for you." The meanest teacher I ever had, Mrs. Hicks, she was always saying, "Oh no, don't you tell me you can't finish this. You're going to stay until you finish it. You are not stupid, young man. You're going to be able to do this." She challenged me to become better. And that was love. Best teacher I ever had. If I had not had her, I think I wouldn't be talking to you now. Because I had this sort of the third grade teacher who was just like, oh, don't worry. We don't want you to be upset. You're having trouble with math. Don't worry. You go over and play with the art supplies while the rest of us learn math. Can you, which one loved me? Mrs. Hicks? Pope, get over here. You're going to learn this stuff, by God. Or the one who said, oh, don't worry. I think I don't want you to be unhappy. You know, which one? Well, I know who loved me, Mrs. Hicks. I don't even remember the third grade teacher's name. You know?
Yeah, I think everyone can reflect on that. They can reflect on, I think teachers is a great example. I can think of certain coaches that I had that were so in the moment harsh, but afterwards unbelievably admirable, where I think, man, I want some of that. I
They
need
summoned you to
that.
greatness. Exactly.
It there's just no way, you know, because of our own sluggishness, there's no way to be great without a little fire behind you. You know, that it's impossible. And even when you think of I was actually, like, in reading this, I was watching an interview with Mr. Beast, who he has the world's largest YouTube channel, and he made this really interesting comment. Like, it was right in this scene where he was talking about how to have a viral video, and he was talking about how you can't do it by doing the thing that everyone does. He gave this example of, like, you can't do it by just talking about a cow, but if you talk about a purple cow, something no one's ever done, no one's ever seen, that's the thing that goes viral. And then he talked about how, well, you know, what's the deal with a purple cow? It's difficult. It's hard.
Right.
That's why no one's ever done it. That's why it goes viral. But when you realize the connection between difficulty and success, you start running after it instead of resenting it.